Well, Shakespeare didn't invent Robin Goodfellow. He certainly made good use of him in A Midsummer Night's Dream. He has his introduction in Act 2, Scene 1, when he meets the wandering fairy.
Either I mistake your shape and make him quiet, or else you are that shrewd and knavish sprite called Robin Goodfellow.
Thou speak'st aright. I am that merry wanderer of the night. I jest to Oberon and make him smile, when I a fat and bean-fed horse beguile, neighing in likeness of a filly foal. And sometime lurk I in a gossip's bowl, in very likeness of a roasted crab. And when she drinks, against her lips I bob, and on her withered dewlap pour the ale. The wisest aunt, telling the saddest tale, sometime for 3-foot stool mistaketh me. Then slip I from her bum, down topples she, and Taylor cries and falls into a cough. And then the whole choir hold their hips and laugh, and waxen in their mirth and sneeze and swear, a merrier hour was never wasted there.
Shakespeare in this scene gives a good summary of what Robin Goodfellow is all about. He's a trickster and pranker through and through, and would have fit in well with the video I did about trickster fairies, which I'll link at the end. However, that was more about the tricksters of the border country, and Robin Goodfellow was pure England. Besides, I thought he deserved his own video. Perhaps by the end you'll agree. Also, in Act 2, Scene 1, the wandering fairy mentions that he's also called Puck, and that's usually the name he reuses when referring to himself. It's the older version when the term Puck was just another name for the devil, a demon, or an imp. He evolved into more of the hobgoblin variety, a trickster rather than outright evil. The name Puck also has echoes of the Welsh Pucca and the Irish Puca, trickster figures and shapeshifters of the First Order. That might be a coincidence, but it seems more likely there is a connection if you go back far enough. Draw their habits in a Venn diagram and it would be close to one circle. What Shakespeare started by bringing Puck out of folklore and onto the stage, others followed by bringing him into literature. So far as we know, A Midsummer Night's Dream was written between 1595 and 1596. Just over 30 years later, in 1628, a black-letter pamphlet was anonymously published called Robin Goodfellow, His Mad Pranks and Merry Jests. In this version, Puck was the son of a mortal woman and Oberon, the king of the fairies. Born human, eventually he ran away from his mother and into the woods and was found there by his father Oberon, who granted him fairy powers, such as always getting anything he wanted and the ability to shapeshift. Half-fairies were not unknown in folklore and often achieved true fairy status by use of a fairy ointment, or in the case of Puck, a golden scroll. Alfred Nutt, in his Fairy Mythology of Shakespeare, equates the story of Puck with that of the folklore of the Celtic hero Manannán mac Lir, who was the son of a god and a human woman, granted godlike status by his father, in some ways considering Puck the hero's more humble descendant. Likewise, once Robin Goodfellow was out of the human realm, it seems, he never looked back and took his role as a trickster sprite, if you'll pardon the expression, very seriously. Some accounts of his adventures were foiling the plans of a lecherous uncle toward one of his nieces, playing will-o-wisp, pulling practical jokes at a wedding, courting a miller's wife, and when the miller tried to throw him into a pond, found himself sitting in the water instead. He also took on the role of a brownie and was discharged in the usual fashion by a gift of clothes. By the 18th century, he had moved into popular song. Thanks, or at least proper due, must be paid to Shakespeare for making Puck, aka Robin Goodfellow, one of the best-known English fairies of all time, which probably makes him immortal Puck as much as William Shakespeare is immortal Shakespeare. Time will decide which case is the more fitting. As for the last word, I leave that to Shakespeare, via Puck.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream, gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest Puck, if we have unearned luck now to scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the Puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.